All right. Takumbe back in the session. Hey y'all, I want to tell y'all something real quick too while y'all come in. Buy some water filters or some water bottles and just stock up on them motherfuckers. Cause I went to the store today and they had a limit on 3. You can only buy 3 water bottles. 3 water bottles. So they limiting the amount of stuff you can buy now at the grocery store.
Oh, we're about to hit another thing like we did early 2020. Like global supply chains are.
I can't hear nobody.
Massive. What? You can't hear? Can you hear now?
All right. Continue.
Yeah. So global supply chains are an absolute mess right now. I mean, the ports are like severely backed up, and there's literally not enough vessels, not enough ships, not enough trucks, and not enough truck drivers to keep up with global demand right now. So if there's stuff that you like at the store, even if it's just like a little thing that you just like to pick up every now and then.
I don't know if I can hear me, but I might not be part of this because I can't hear nothing.
You. Well, we can hear you.
Yeah, we hear you, y'all.
I'm just gonna text him. But yeah, so if you guys like something at a store, I would say start stocking up on stuff now, because honestly, we're starting to send out notifications throughout the industry right now. Well, we've been sending them all year, but it's just getting to the point now where we can't. You can't even try to make up some solution anymore. It's just getting so bad. So be mindful of that beyond just, stocking up on a few extra things like this. Just start to, you don't have to go full doomsday prep or anything like that, but just keep a little extra on hand because it's going to get tight out here.
I don't know if Denard come on here yet? Yeah, Takumbe on here.
Oh, yeah.
I remember like, dog, this was like last year sometime. Remember when I was like, man, it's a plague. I don't know if I told you, but I was like, it's a plague coming. And
yes, I remember.
And that was before COVID hit, right?
Right.
Yeah, so like I had a vision that something was coming, like a sickness. And then I seen that shit, but also after that, I had a vision where, and I remember I said this in the chat that we was on Takumbe. I was like, I had a dream where I was just worried about water. I'm like, we got to get as much water as possible. Get water. And that was like months ago. But it's like now I'm realizing that when I get visions, it's like months ahead. So it's like I'm like, my ancestors like, oh, I'm like, good shit, y'all, because y'all give me a heads up like, nigga, 4 months before shit popping off. So so it's like I'm now living in that like, oh, we gotta get water, but I was already warned by the ancestors to get water, so I got a shitload of water where I was going to Sam's Club, nigga, just buying shitloads. Now, when I went to Sam's Club to get more water today, just to have some more, there was like, you can only buy 3 of them motherfuckers. I'm like, damn. And then you can only buy 1 toilet paper too.
Yep, you're gonna see these people fighting over toilet paper again. It was a mess last year.
Oh, niggas about to be fighting in these stores in a few weeks.
So you can already see all the aisles getting emptier.
Hey, my girl just got $1,000 some dollars on her card, so we about to go grizzly.
Don't be telling no business like that. Matter of fact, I need 100.
Do some of them 50-50 deals, man.
Hell yeah. But yeah, it's a little fucked up, but it's all right because we gonna make it through it. It's only gonna be a short period of time where we gonna have to deal with this bullshit.
The system is crashing. That's all.
That's all it is. No, but I was saying, y'all gotta watch on Hulu this show called Nine Perfect Strangers. It's actually a really good show. It's about like people that go to this like spiritual retreat thing, and they're going through all these different exercises. Like the show itself and the drama, that's good. But then if they actually start to tap into some of like, as much as Hollywood will let you do, they started tapping into some of like the like some burial exercises and like working in some of the psychedelics and psilocybin as a healing and
Finally. Oh my God.
oh, okay, good job.
I had to turn my whole phone off.
Hey, the government on your ass. All right,
Right.
but yeah, continue.
But yeah, so then they started getting into some of the some Reiki stuff and what else did they have? And then there was a section that kind of like climaxed to this ending part where they were using certain doses of psilocybin to help this family reconnect to their dead son who had killed himself through suicide, and they were able to reconnect with him to get some form of closure, and all of them were able to see the son at the same time and have a shared experience of it, which was really cool. So I recommend watching it. Like the last episode was like, but overall they showed some really cool concepts if you guys are interested.
All right, dope. Yeah,
I would love to go somewhere that had that.
and that's dope because that even goes to what we were speaking of earlier about the astral plane. So it's been a lot of times to where in the astros I've been able to communicate with my grandfather and my uncle, and they've told me to do certain stuff, and then like it would like literally play out in reality. So it's like, and we know death isn't real. So when someone transitions in our reality, they're gods, especially if they are our family, they're gods. So they're just going to their energy is going to transition to another dimension. So it's like that person always exists. So you can always tap back into their energy, into the astros. Therefore, it really is no sense of grieving when you pass, because if you can connect with a nigga, it's just like, hey, that's why back in the day, people wasn't scared to pass away. They'll go run in a battle like, I'm ready to die. Because they understood that even though you lose this physical avatar, you still exist in so many other dimensions that you could just bloop, you just pop into the next one. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of times that we've died ourselves that we don't even realize that we skipped into another dimension. Like I know Abioye said he had experience where he drowned. You know what I'm saying? And when he returned, it came to where his friend ended up dying when he drowned. So it's just like you skip dimensions, but instead of it happened to you, it happened to somebody else in your reality. So it's just like, nigga, like you a spirit, you had magnetism. So like I think I died a couple times on drug overdoses. How much shit I used to pop. So so you know what I'm saying? We exist. So it's no reason to get froggy when we pass, because we exist on many levels. You gotta get to the Astros, baby. Does anybody have a family member they want to talk to?
I would say I think I tried. I was able to connect with them. Like what was it, like a couple months ago? I tried it for the first time to really try to connect with my ancestors, because that's never really been like, well, until like recently, it hasn't really been like something that's been forward of mine. But it was actually like a really cool experience. Like I poured out some libations, sat down, was able to just kind of meditate and tap in, and it took me back to like my grandfather's house, like down in Tennessee. And it's like it was so crazy because it's like you could like I could feel the heat, right, of like, humidity in Tennessee, and it was like his house and like the same smells and everything like that. And it was just, and like, it was like a group of, family members that had passed. 'Cause I didn't really call out for anyone specific. I was just like, I don't know, whoever answers. And it was like a really cool experience, because like, even with some of those members, like some of the members that showed up, is like, them, but you didn't really like, it's like some of those members were like, we cool, but we don't really talk like that. But even they showed up. So that was like a really beautiful experience.
Those is the first and or perfect ones who will be good for you to start connecting with them. Just because you didn't know them don't mean you can't get to know them.
Right.
And I want to share something too. Like a lot of times when we see in our loved ones who transition in our dreams and stuff, in most cases we always look at them and be like, "Oh man, you died," or we don't tend to be present with them like as if they never died. And most times that happens, they give us a weird look, and then they stop communicating with us. Sometimes I ain't gonna say necessarily stop communicating, but in that particular moment, the communication like slows down. What I'm getting at is whenever y'all see y'all loved ones in y'all dreams or in y'all imagination, meditation, astral realm, whatever the case may be, call them by their name and see how the experience changes then.
That's a good tip.
Yeah, and so like, look, y'all, I want to tell y'all a quick little story. So this is my little ancestor order right here. I got like a whole bunch of my dad relatives, obituaries, and pictures up. Got a couple angels, and I got my Egyptian attire right here. The Isis, Osiris, and then Amen-Ra. But I try to leave offerings for them. So I got some rum in here, and I burn incense every day. And I also have a candle I'm set up. But I was sipping on wine today for Hermes, because Hermes told me he wanted some wine. So I've been sipping on it, and I also gave some to my ancestors. And then like yesterday, I know like a lot of my family members like sweets. So I put a honey bun out. And when I put the honey bun out yesterday, as soon as I placed it on the altar, a fucking voice came in my head and was like, I want it cooked. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yo, you gotta heat it up.
I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, damn, nigga, I don't feel like going downstairs and putting this motherfucker in the toaster oven. But I'm like, you know what? All right, fuck it. I'm gonna heat that bitch up, and I put it out there, and it was like all good. So, just simple stuff like this, putting stuff out for them. It's always a cause and effect for something in this reality. So the cause and effect for you putting out something, you know that food gives you life force in this realm, so above, so below. So in the spirit form, this still gives them life essence. It's just in a different form. They drank the actual the atoms, the quantum level of this physical. So it's like so below, so below. So yeah, just putting out like if you have any ancestors that you know, like they like to smoke cigarettes, they like to do cocaine, they like to smoke weed, if they like to eat hot dogs, hamburgers, or whatever, you put it out for them because shit is going to give them life force. In exchange, they give you help.
Make sure you light the cigarette. Don't just put it out. Don't just put it up there. You gotta light it.
Yeah, because look at this. I be lighting this for my grandma, and this motherfucker smells so bad. I'm like, oh, damn. I hate cigarettes, but with grandma, fuck it, I'll light them up.
See, that was one thing. Like when I poured out libations for mine, I've always just heard that you do it with like alcohol. So I just did it with some wine that I had. And like I remember when I was talking to them, I was just like, do you guys like the libations? Like, do you like was that cool? And they're like, we don't drink wine. Like if you don't pour out some sweet tea. Like, and I was just like, oh, okay, all right, noted. All right, let me take that down. Sweet tea, anything else on the menu? Like, so it's funny that I'm like, man, okay, y'all will actually sit up here and request it. Okay, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and it's just those quick, subtle thoughts that come into your mind frame. And it's like we're not accustomed to speaking with spirits. So we don't know that exact response when we ask that question or that thought we get, it's them.
Mhm.
So yeah, like yeah, if they don't want alcohol, get them niggas sweet tea. Like
Mhm.
whatever they know.
Or you put alcohol on there to strengthen for purification and protection spells. Wine is for friendly communication between spirit and man. Milk represents the mother, the feminine side of spirit. So you put milk out there to connect with the feminine side of the transition. Transition, and water is just the cooling and healing aspect of relationship.
Mm,
Hmm.
that's some good information to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all see me right now, but I was smoking a cigarette. I
Mhm.
don't smoke cigarettes, but I'm a god. So just like out of God Shiva, he could transmit the poisons into his body and use alchemy to transition those into a purpose. And all it is attention. So I'm
You
not
keep it on
smoking
the
a
altar,
cigarette.
your
I'm not
ancestors
smoking.
smoking themselves.
I'm
My
not
brother
smoking it.
smoked a cigarette.
I'm not
Back
smoking a cigarette because I crave cigarettes or I want to smoke it. I know that my grandma lives in my DNA.
yeah, your ancestors. And if you put it on the altar, you will see them inhale the cigarette. My brother in his room, his altar, you can see him tugging on the cigarette. If you sit in there and watch, you see them tug on it. If you sit there, you will see that how the liquor go from brown to dark brown. And you will see how the food, because your ancestors gonna want some chicken. They gonna want some pork chop. Because I haven't eaten that. And I was like, why do I got this craving for a pork chop in my head? And I said, somebody in my ancestors want that. So I put it on
I'm
there.
going through that.
And see one thing we don't realize is a lot of our ancestors, so we exist on multiple levels. So a lot of our ancestors were what we would hence call demons. Because we even know our ancestors like they was some asshole motherfuckers. So it's like those same dark entities that we know that we shouldn't feast on and eat on a quantum level, they can still get out what they need from that. Even though we perceive like I know that I'm not eating no fucking Whopper, but my grandpa used to love Whoppers from Burger King. So I still buy a Whopper and I put it out for him.
Right,
Even
because
though
I
I
got
know that shit fucked up.
up.
I just leave it out for them. Like y'all can have that shit. You know what I'm saying? And you always leave stuff out for when you leave food out, you leave it out for 3 days. That's what I do. I leave it out for 3 days. I don't want gnats and shit in my room. But I at least give them 3 days to suck the nutrients out. And you'll actually see the food. You'll see it like wither over time. And that's how you know they got the life essence out. And then you can I don't even when I get the food that I have, I don't throw it in the trash. And I don't like to pour the alcohol out in the sink. I like to pour the alcohol outside in the dirt. And I put the food that I had for them, I put it by a tree. So I can just give it back to the earth instead of throwing it in the trash.
I take it
So
to the
it's like,
water too.
yep.
Tree in the water.
So
I want to share one of my experiences because I tried working with my family ancestors like last year. It's like last year, like 2019, when I first started getting into the ancestral work. And it was fucked up. It was real fucked up. So because they went through so much and I felt all of the pain, I seen a whole lot of shit. It was just like it was real hard. So like I ended up like doing cleansing rituals for them, within like my past generations, like grandmas and stuff like that. But as far as like ancestors that I would like put, like I never put none of my ancestors on my altars before because it was, for me personally, it was like a lot transmuting that fucked up energy. So I could do it partially, but not wholly. I guess I could say. But I started working with, like ancient ancestors, like Thoth, Isis, Ra, those type of ancestors, or whatever, because it was just the energy was more powerful. I mean, I don't want to say more powerful, but it was just it felt potent for me. It felt higher vibrations, I guess I can say, that I was pulling from, more so than reaching back into my immediate ancestors, because of so much shit that they done been through, or a lot of the shit that they do crave. So like I put my aunt on my aunt just recently passed, and she like really was one of the only aunties I ever really fucked with. So this is my first time putting somebody on my altar, and I went through a lot of cravings, like the day of putting her on my altar and days afterwards, like liquor and meat. I haven't been eating meat in I don't know how long. But I was like having like the cravings real bad or whatever, and I tried putting some stuff on the altar for him, but like I don't like leaving food out because my kids they come try to eat that shit, or some crazy shit like that. So I put like herbs and stuff on the altar for her. But I don't know, like I guess my question is like, do y'all when y'all pull the energies from them, do you feel like how you were saying they've been through some fucked up shit? Are you dealing with the shit that energy that they left behind? Because
So
dealing with
I
the
would say
ancestors immediate is hard for me.
I would say now the only thing you need to do is transition your perception, because when we speak of our ancestors on this realm, even though they came here in this dimension fucked up, that still fucked up shit that you went through still elevated you to get to where you were. So your ancestors were put here in a position that guide you to get to where you were, even though it would seem traumatic on this level, but we have to understand that there's no representation of good and bad.
Right.
It only is what it is. But what it is brought you to the person you are now. So if they were on a straight scale, a straight arrow, you probably would have been lost in the matrix somewhere, been a pastor, you know what I'm saying, would have been just lost. You know what I'm saying? But all that trauma guided you to find your soul. So you had to realize that your ancestors are they exist on higher dimensions than they did in your physical reality. So your auntie is a god in her own essence. She just played a role in your life to help you achieve something.
Mm-hmm.
So and then you have to look at the fact that, okay, what did those ancestors do to show you a path? And then when you try to work with them, you'll realize that, okay, I see who you and what you are and why you did that in my life to get me to where I needed to be. So
Yeah, no, I get what you said, but like I'm talking about like when I did my ancestry work with going through my family, it was like, people that I never even met before, but I knew through certain pictures and stuff, but I could see like certain life patterns. Like I could be having a meditation and see myself shooting up and dying from an overdose, or seeing
yeah,
but realizing that it's not me, that I'm in somebody else's story.
and see what happens is like through your whole lineage, like through all your generations, like really it's only been a few people that have tapped into the spiritual realm to even try to talk to the ancestors. So now that you, out of your lineage, out of your DNA, you're trying to tap into the ancestors, it's like now all the ancestors see your light. So that, oh shit, I finally see someone that I can communicate with. So therefore, they rush to your light, and it could be a lot because nobody in your family ever tried to really communicate with the ancestors. Everybody was caught up on Jesus and all this other shit. So now when you finally get there, it's like they like, hey nigga, hey, they trying to get to you. So
Yeah.
it's just you have to, like, that's why they say it's a kind of like a gift and a curse, because you have to now that you know, you have to learn how to balance those energies. That's why it comes to healing generational cursing, because now they're trying to tell you things to let you know, like, oh, okay, this is what it is. And then once you change your perception about things and listen to their messages and try to help them out, that's when your generations really, well, your ancestors really will start coming in, kicking in for you. Because first you got to help them, and then they'll help you.
Get you 2 white candles, keep them burning with healing oils in them, like rosemary, rose, and lavender on both
Yep.
bloodlines of the family. And as you put them on the altar, you keep that white candle going on each family, known and unknown ancestors that made their transition from each blood lineage. A white candle with rose, rosemary, lavender, healing oils to heal the lineage and heal you, and then go from there.
Okay. Got you. Thank you guys. That actually helped.
Yeah, we got Takumbe in here, an expert at the candle magic.
You know, that's my thing. I
Yeah,
done did every spell known to man.
that shit's strong.
And I did that too. So yeah, whoever said that you do, yeah, I did that. Yeah, I did that too.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
So have you ever heard of women using their menstrual cycle on a candle?
Yeah, and men can use regular. You can use regular blood too. So it's the same.
Okay, so really no difference between it. Because I've always thought you could just use your, like, if you have a mate, you use your mate's blood.
You can use your semen too to do it as
I was
well.
about to say use your semen, yeah.
I actually like to drink the menstrual blood, but that's another subject.
Vampire.
And yeah, you can, and it's the same.
What is it about? Like, I think it's like the third day. That's when the nutrients, like everything is like balanced out. Like the first 2 days, you can't. That's when.
No, and whatever it is, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know, like that's why I feel I have some reptilian in my blood, because I've always been quenched by the taste of blood.
Well, that explains a lot now. What the product preacher do it? How did the preacher?
But you know, hey, angels be involved in some crazy shit. But anyways, back on topic. But I can actually go into that. Actually, wait, I'm gonna just talk about the menstrual blood real quick, because if you research the Gnostics, the blood of Christ, where that originated from, was the menstrual blood, because back in the day they believed that the menstrual blood was connected with the moon. So the moon, then the woman was healthy back then, so she was eating the right shit. She was in her prime. So when she did release that blood from her womb, it had all the minerals and it was aligned with the elements of that time. So when you drunk that, like, the woman gives birth to everything. So the woman's blood will then heal you, because the woman's blood is like the internal. It's like the
life
function
force.
of life.
Oh, you remember the brothers, Alchemist brothers?
Mm-hmm.
Remember the crystal on there?
The Philosopher's Stone.
Yes, that's what I was trying to remember. Yeah. That's what that's symbolic for.
Yeah. Literally talking about life force. I mean, when we eat anything, vegetables, food, you really getting down to trying to absorb the life force, which is the blood from plants or meat, whatever it is you trying to absorb. Your body is absorbing the life force from it. Everything else is just dead cells.
So is it life force or is it crystals?
Crystals is the life force.
But yeah, crystals, yeah, it's life force. That's why you are a crystal.
Mm-hmm.
Also makes sense.
And like, plus, like, what the fuck? If you was a vampire, why the fuck would you want to bite niggas' necks? Why not eat some pussy? That shit. Hey, that's what I think about it. Yeah.
It is a gateway.
Right, yeah, it's the Vesica Pisces.
Supportive.
Like I would say like a long time ago, like my ex, like when I used to eat her out, I would go into a whole nother world. Like it, and I didn't never knew what that shit was because I would be doing it and then my eyes would roll to the back of my head and it was as if I was falling asleep. And I'd be like, what the fuck is that?
No, I know what you mean because while you eating pussy, you literally like lose consciousness because you literally tap into the female's energy to where she's trying to go. So you lose thought of your own frequency. So you tap into her frequency. So therefore, in that action, it's like meditation because you're not thinking about shit. All you thinking about is how she feeling and like you when you eat while you're eating a girl out. Or I don't know how women feel when they sucking dick, but you actually feel good while doing it. It's because you're tapping into that other person's energy.
Real shit.
Yeah.
I'm glad everybody agree. We have no boundaries about what we talk about.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Give it head.
We guys and goddesses over here. But
And it's all within 5-10 minutes.
but yeah, anybody want to say anything else? This is a lovely night. I'm glad this is some lovely communication. We started off, I tell you, like we was going head and head earlier. I wish I got that on camera.
Yeah, we should have got it on camera too, because we
I
was
wish I could have seen that. Yeah.
That's just funny.
damn Aquarius and they bullshit.
Okay.
Hey, that's that Aquarius with that Sag moon. That's that fire.
That's that bullshit.
I can't help but get aggressive sometimes.
That's that bullshit.
So funny.
Well, I'm gonna go back and take a listen.
Yeah,
Now
but
they
no,
didn't record
I
it.
didn't.
No, he
I
didn't
didn't put
record
that
it.
part on. I was waiting for everybody to get in before I started recording. So that was just a pre warm up on throat chakra energy. We had to get our throat chakras powered up. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing like a good argument.
Well, as long as the same people still here that started it.
Yeah, we all still here. Yeah.
Yep.
That's how it goes. Shit, like that's what it's supposed to be like though. Like even when you look at martial arts, we live martial arts. So even when we interact with each other, we spar with each other's consciousness. So even when we talk, it's like we're fighting in a way. We're like dancing. So it's just like, hey, we spar sometimes, but that's how we get more powerful.
Right.
It's just when you a weak ass bitch and I beat your ass when we sparring and you get mad at me and then you trying to come back and stab me or something on Wednesday, then that's when you got a problem.
Wait, what?
Hey, yeah, I've been through some shit, nigga.
I was gonna say that was sounding like a personal story there.
For real. That's what happened for real.
I never had nobody try to come at me and stab me. I feel like that's
You talking about me? Wait.
Hey, Chris, remember when old dude pulled a gun out on us when we was walking home and I was eating McDonald's?
Wait a minute now.
I remember that.
What's
I remember
this
that.
story? What's this story?
Kay's baby daddy, a cousin.
Yeah, they rode up on us and they put out a gun on us because I was we was just me and this baby mama ended up hooking up. I've always been attracted to single moms because I feel they struggle because I was raised by a single mother. But at the same time, I don't know how to be a father, so I'm still learning that myself. But yeah, we was walking home and then he rode up on us and he hopped out the car and he pulled out a gun, but first he pulled the gun out on Chris. And then he pulled the gun out on me. And I was eating a McChicken. And he said something to me, but I was just eating a McChicken. I'm like, look, dog, nigga, I'm eating my sandwich. I don't give a fuck what you talking
Remember
about.
they want us to lay our stuff down.
No, yeah, and look, this how gay niggas is, dog. So they go tell us like, oh, we should make y'all strip right now. Like, nigga, why you want me to strip?
Right.
Like you could at least tell me take off my shoes. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like what is the priority here?
No, remember
Right.
I also had my tablet in my hand.
But
No. Remember I had a tablet on me when we was walking.
Oh yeah, shit. But hey, I was waiting. If you would have swung on him, I would have dropped that Nick chicken fast as hell and pow!
They didn't even rob us.
No, they didn't do shit. They was little scary bitches. And
Wait,
then
they didn't even
remember
knock over the McChicken?
the crazy part about it, a few days later, me and Chris are chilling up at the college, and we like with our little crew, and we see the same dude. He used to work at Jimmy John's, so he was delivering Jimmy John's at the time. So he see us, and he actually walk up to us and try to fucking dap me up. I'm like, nigga, how you go dap me up when just a couple days ago you pulled a gun out on me for walking with your baby mama?
That's wild.
Like niggas' emotions and their minds be somewhere else. So, and then when me and his baby mama got together, like he seen me. I raised his daughter. So he never spent a dime on his daughter. I raised her from 1 to 3 years old. And I was walking down the street with her. I was walking down the street with her in her stroller, and he seen me. He drove by. So he called Kayla. He was like, I'm about to kill this nigga next time I see him walking. And I used to walk everywhere at all times of night. And the nigga lived in the same hood that I lived in. So I'm like, hey, if the
he's
nigga
1 block
see me,
away.
yeah, a block away. So I'm like, hey, if the nigga see me, he see me. I never been a scary ass nigga. Hey, nigga, whatever. So,
I got your daughter.
right. He wasn't doing stuff for his daughter. So he was mad at me because I was being there for her. So after the nigga got in contact with me and told me he was gonna kill me next time he saw me, tell me why the next day that nigga got locked up.
Like 4 years.
I'm like, hey nigga, I can walk freely now without a concern. I wasn't concerned in the first place. But
you gonna threaten a man walking your baby? Like, good God.
Right. That's crazy.
And you won't even walk your baby.
Right.
Right.
Goofy ass.
That's fucked up.
That's just people's mentals. And but shit, I still fuck with him. I still respect him. I hate to see that he's in this fucking prison system. But you know, I understand that his consciousness is creating that environment for him. So hey, I don't feel bad about it. It's like, hey, you could do better. But you know, I'm gonna stay in my lane. So.
Because wait, then he got caught with I know it was something stupid too.
Yeah, no, he went to a liquor store with 2 of his friends, and his friends robbed a liquor store while he was in the car driving, and they ended up getting caught.
And his gun was loaded, which he had bullets in there, and then he already went to jail. So he had already been in jail. So you had a gun and it was loaded, and you had a full clip.
Yeah.
And his priority was threatening a man walking his baby. That's what I don't understand.
And that's what I'm saying. Your ancestors, before your enemies even leave the house, nigga,
it's a
they fall.
They
fall in defeat.
Like I give you another remember how with Lindsay Carl I did that devil candle, and the dude that she cheated on me with, end up being a psycho because half of him was a homeless man, a crazy homeless man that fought people, and the other half was just a normal guy. So we have random like days where he'd be a homeless man, and so I can attest to that.
Yeah, honestly, like we should do a live one day talking about different candles, because different candles actually do different things, and devil candles are really nothing to play with.
Yeah, I know. Oh my God.
Because yeah, they just, you got to really research and see what you're doing.
Because if you use it, you have to decide right in and there that this is it. I cut all ties off.
Oh yeah, you don't got no choice. Oh yeah, ain't no going back.
No, I didn't cut ties and I went back, and it went like,
Yep.
it was so bad.
That energy boomerang back on you because the energy had nowhere to go, and you the one who initiate the energy is still there, so you had nowhere to go. So all that was still right there. Don't I know it?
Yeah, and that's why, like,
The devil candle.
like,
That's just
even
a
though
cutting ties with somebody.
so
Hey,
a devil candle, so you have different colors of the devil candle. So, and the reason why these devil candles are so powerful is because just over time in a collective consciousness, we've charged these items up astrally, so they work. So you have the red devil candle, which produces lust. So if you light a red devil candle upon someone, you could fill their life with lust in some type of form or fashion, or any type of other, like,
Tied with
or danger.
gender candle. You have a penis candle or a vagina candle, and you tie the devil candle with it with the same energy. And you put some red string around it and tie it together and light it.
Damn, nigga, you been doing some shit.
Hey, but,
Like, let me get my notebook. Hold up.
what makes it a devil candle?
It's shaped like a
so
devil.
so the devil what
Okay.
makes it a devil candle, because it's very potent and powerful in what it does. So like a black devil candle banishes somebody from your life.
which
So
is
you
what I
break
use.
somebody up, you put a devil candle in between the male and the female, and it's the devil candle in between that, light all of them at the same time, then move each one. You move them apart and bring the middle, you pull the devil candle up towards them even more. And at the end, you take one of the remaining balance of the devil candle and the image of the male and the female tied together and throw it out.
Yeah, and that, but see, like, and I stress this to people, because really, like, you really never have to do none of that shit. You really just have to focus on yourself and make sure you vibe high, and let the universe take care of people. But sometimes you got to do some shit.
Just don't go back.
Yeah.
No, you can't go back. You can't go back. You can't feel for the sad story and I still love him and blah, blah, blah. Once you do it, you can't. I was told that somebody who did it before me, and I was like, why she won't help
See,
me?
I didn't ask nobody for it. I just did it, and then like, damn, I might change my mind, and I kind of went back, and then it was like way worse than I could have ever imagined. Like, even it got to a point where I looked at myself in the mirror and didn't even recognize myself after everything had transpired.
Oh,
I went to the graveyard, got some dirt, and threw it on the steps, and then
This thing out here killing niggas.
Right. You say it like it's a prescription. Like, here, let me write this. Let me write this remedy up
I learned my craft by fucking myself up.
Yeah, that's how it worked though.
But that's powerful. That's powerful though, because when you use that same power with a pure intention, it's like beyond incredible. Because instead of using it for like, oh, this motherfucker fucked me over, I'm gonna get him back. No, you can use it like, oh, these motherfuckers really trying to kill me. Let me do some shit, and then that's when it really works. And it's like you won't receive the karma from it, because it's like you're not doing it emotionally. When we do things emotionally, that's when it turns to
come back. Oh God, because that energy don't exist, and you had to create that energy. And once you create that energy, it comes back home.
And
And then it comes back home.
do not light a devil candle for your baby daddy or baby mama.
No, you
It
can't
would
do
be
that. Nope.
it would be terrible.
Can't do none of that. Can't do none of that. None of that. If you're gonna fuck with them any way, shape, or form, you cannot do nothing. No fuck them up. No get no cat hair, dog hair, and put them together and all. Yeah, I did that too.
Just gonna
You
slip that
no,
in there real
don't
quick.
get 9 nails and get you a black skull and put 9 nails on top of it with some doom or don't do that neither. Yeah, I did that too. So.
I feel like you got to put like an asterisk next to everything you're saying right now. Like, not recommended.
No, but that's dope, though, because just because you live like you got to think about this, Takume. Like nobody taught you this, right? You just looked this shit up for yourself, right?
It wasn't Google back then. I had to go to the store, get a book, had to go to the
Right.
library.
So now you got to think about that. That means that you came into this realm already with that knowledge, and you already knew that you needed to remind yourself of it. So even though you came into this world before you woke up fully to yourself, you use a lot of battle magic. You use a lot of attack magic. So that means, and you're a Taurus too. So Taurus are strong. They charge in first. So that means you already, since you did that unconsciously, that means you have a strong attack magic. So now you know your position in this reality. You're supposed to be attacking the opposition. And then that's where you receive your blessings at, as you send that battle energy to who you're supposed to be sending to, not your brother or sister. So that's something you automatically are strong and tapped into, that you did it unconsciously.
I say. I say. I mean, I did a lot of love spells too. I had to pick my blood and buried it under willow tree and called upon the saint.
But even with that, you have to realize like love and hate is the same thing. Because you have the energy and want to do that battle magic on someone, that means you must really love them at some point.
Facts.
But that love then turned to hate, because love and hate is the same fucking thing. It's just a different perception, because you're still giving that person your energy, whether it's between love or hate. So that's why they say you need to forgive your enemy, because when you forgive your enemy, you stop sending them energy. Yes.
Facts. That's why I learned so much. I get so much. So when anybody asks me any questions, I give them the disclaimer. Do not do this. When you do it, lose everything on somebody, and then you bring the person back, and that energy's still out there, you're gonna lose everything too.
But now, all right,
they're gonna be back every retrograde.
So Takumbe, imagine if you did this, right? Imagine if you got a black skull with 9 nails, and imagine that was fucking Bill Gates. And you did a fucking spell on that nigga. The ancestors would be proud of you.
Okay. I think you're trying to talk him into something.
Right.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
It's a skill set.
You're right. I know that's my expertise, and I'm good with manifesting with candles. I know I am. Like I manifested in my sexual harassment lawsuit. I manifested, a whole lot of stuff doing with candle work. And so now when I talk to people about it that's learning it, I always tell them to make sure when it comes to writing your petition on your candles, please just take some time and think about what you really want. and think about how you word it, because those words are very important, because those energies and the spirits only gonna go by what you write. And the one thing you forget to write down is the one thing that's gonna come out of the whole scenario. And also you cannot do it under confusion. You can't have your mind, because you are manifesting confusion. No
Yeah,
matter if it's positive or negative, you're still manifesting that confusion.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the universe doesn't understand English, it understands frequency.
Fact.
yeah. So it perceives nothing as good or bad. It just is what it is.
Wait,
So
so what is faking it till you make it? Because I've heard like people like Panic or different lecture people say fake it till you make it. So if
so
you're real,
faking it till you make it is just the sense of like this is a matrix. So like I could sit here right now like, hey nigga, I'm a millionaire, nigga, I just hit the lottery. And as I'm keep saying that and I believe it, like that shit go happen.
so we're just doing this repetition until eventually it just manifests.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
you're kind of programming your subconscious to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Hell yeah. But yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, candle magic is powerful. That's like using the element of fire. That's that solar plexus energy. That's awesome.
Hey Carl, do you remember when I did candle magic and I was literally sitting like I didn't have no job? Remember we was in Fairview. I didn't have no job. I just came outside like I need a job, and I did some candle magic. It was quick. Like I did it that morning. I went outside to sit. Remember I was sitting on the stoop, and the dude walked up to me like, "Do you want a job?" I'm like,
Yep.
"Yeah." He's like, "You can, all right. You can do some construction with me. I'm gonna teach you how to do some construction."
Yep. I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah, nigga.
work.
Hell yeah. Hey, nigga, like when we were in Cleveland, we was like strictly in survival mode. So we like that's like me and you actually went through, I believe we went through we started off on the dark side. Because in the dark side, with the parasites and shit like that, you are still a god and you can control that. So we control our realities through the fucked up shit. Like that's why we was alcoholics. We was doing drugs. You know what I'm saying? We was literally manifesting our lives. Like we was on some shit. Like we was doing the shit, but we was doing it in low vibrational ways.
Exactly.
But now that we are becoming more conscious of our higher selves, we're starting to master our light side. So we mastered our dark side. We learned how to work with those dark forces. Now we're transitioning to work with the light forces. So that's when you get into the yin and yang. So I believe that's dope.
Which I've
Yeah.
actually explained that. Like, my girl was just talking about that a couple days ago. How like she coming from more from a light angle, and I'm coming more from a dark angle. We're just learning the opposite based upon our, our coming
like
boundaries and frequencies.
Yeah, like we was straight up Satan, Luciferian, Cthulhu.
Hey, this
Dark
is so great because
side.
now I get all the background information.
Exactly. I forgot all this shit. Like,
I was about to say,
man,
because I'm like, oh, I haven't heard some of these stories. Okay, go ahead.
they dated a witch that was crazy. I
Yeah,
actually
like
dated
this
a couple of them.
bitch used to bite this nigga and drink his blood. You think I'm weird for drinking period blood? This bitch used to bite him.
Thank you, Carl. I went out there.
Oh,
I used to
shit.
look, dog, look. The craziest part about it, while he was dating this girl, right? She used to draw, and I was looking through one of her books, and
Oh yeah, I remember this. Yup.
I was flipping through her book, and I saw a dog, and it was like a wolf dog, and it was drawn in blood, and I act like I didn't see it, and I just closed the book and I gave it back to her. I'm just like, what the fuck was that? So the same week, I'm chilling in the crib in my room, and my room is I can look out and see the living room. I'm just chilling on my bed, laying back, listening to some Wiz Khalifa, and I see a fucking dog wolf walk across the living room. I'm like, what the fuck? So I tell Chris, I'm like, dog, I just seen a fucking dog wolf walk across the fucking living room. And he was like, whatever. And so later on that day, our friends came over, and one of our friends was sitting in front of the TV, and she was like, man, it feels like it's like a dog breathing on the back of my neck. I'm like, oh shit. And so I tell Chris again, and I tell him the full story. I'm like, bruh, I'm like, I seen a blood dog in her drawing book. Now I'm seeing the fucking thing walk around. And I told him not to tell her, but he told her. And when he came back to me, he was like, you know what she told me? He was like, she said, how could he see me? I'm like, what the fuck?
Okay. All right.
Oh shit.
It's like, bitch, excuse me? Like,
But that just goes to show, because a lot of the Caucasians, they already know a lot of this astral travel stuff. And now that I understand, I know that she was astral projecting. And when you astral project, that's when you can actually transform yourself into these different entities that you can work with. That, like your spirit, if your spirit animal is like a fucking horse, and you want to travel somewhere, you might manifest yourself as a horse and travel. So as what she was doing, she was manifesting herself as this fucking wolf dog, and she was able to remote view. Because you can do that easily. You can tap into somebody and think about them and then see what the fuck they doing. Like, oh, this nigga up here laying on the couch eating cookies. And like, you can literally do that. That's how literally like this shit can go. You can literally see what somebody doing is right now. Like, nigga, I know you was cheating on me, nigga. Like, I was there. Like, you can do all that shit. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, that's what she was doing. She was astral projecting. But yeah, he was dating that bitch, and she was crazy. I'm gonna call her a bitch because she was crazy.
Remember, she was sucking my energy away.
And yeah, she was an energy vampire. And I'm gonna tell him this story because I'm like, nigga, what the fuck is wrong with you? So I knew she was a parasite because
Right, she's white and she was drinking your blood. Oh
look,
my
look,
Hey, look, I was
Yeah.
not as knowledgeable as I am now. I was
Look,
not as
look.
knowledgeable.
I'm gonna just say,
she
but
knew
no,
what
but
she
no,
was doing.
Chris,
She was getting that black blood, that bitch.
right.
No, but let him finish this.
but Chris was on the dark side. But one thing I can commend him from going through that experience, he did gain knowledge on how to vampire suck energy from motherfuckers. And that's a talent that a lot of people don't know. I remember he told me that
no. I'm
she
explaining.
taught him this ability.
Yeah, because okay, well, she basically said, all right, so like we went downtown and we was sitting in like the middle of the public square. She's like, you see all these people? I'm like, yeah. She was like, what I want you to do, like just like off Naruto, you know how Naruto got them 9 tails? I want you to try and physically make it manifest 2 extra arms, and I want you to see in your mind you taking that arm and floating and grabbing that person and yanking them. And then as you yank them, you just keep that connection with them and keep your eye on them. As long as you can keep your eye on them, you can pull their energy from. When she had taught me that, I started to do it, but it didn't come to effect. If something was wrong, was when I did it at the Brown Stadium and I took on so much energy, I almost like passed out. So over time of doing that, I didn't really realize that she was ciphering energy off me. Like I had lost like 60% of my weight. I was getting skinny and I didn't even notice. Like if you think of the movie I Am Legend, where the dude was he was getting close to that white girl. I think that's I Am Legend, but as like I didn't notice the situation
that was Hancock.
Okay, or Hancock. So it was the same thing. And I didn't notice none of these things that were going on. That as like the more like I liked her because of how her body was, but I didn't realize prior to me getting with her, she had been around black people. And the more she was around white people, she started to look like SpongeBob. But when she was around black people, she started to gain shape. And the more she gained shape, the more I was losing weight. I was starting to see my rib cage, and she had gained like thighs, waist, lips was getting fuller and all of that. So yeah, she was an energy vampire. And it took a long time. Like I didn't notice because we were always drinking. That's like why I don't drink. I don't drink now. I rarely ever drink because we were drinking so much and I was so under bliss and illusion that I didn't. By the time I stopped drinking, I looked up. I was like, wow, what happened? And she also had like drawings, sketch, like sigils in my room. Like when I finally moved out, remember Carl, when we was helping me move my stuff out, we was finding like herbs and crystals in weird spots with sigils and put places and shit.
Yeah.
Well, she did a number on you, child.
Wow, right.
But that just goes to show how powerful you are, because even the fact that we went through all of that goes to show that we've been in the fucking game. Like we've been deep in this shit.
No, because remember we was downtown, we seen a block on the ground that said Society of Hades in the middle of downtown.
Yeah, man, like shit, we was in the mix of it, dog.
And it's a pendulum.
Like, can you talk about your story around there at that time? Can you like share your experience, like what you was going through as a rebirthing process?
What do you mean?
Like how your living situation and stuff was.
Oh, how was my living situation? Oh, because we were living together, remember?
No, I'm saying when we was like walking downtown having conversations 24/7. Like you remember what life was like?
Oh, you talking about the mission? Oh, yeah. Okay, so I had built myself up in society, and then I don't know, society didn't work for me. I had made a lot of choices that did not meet what the results were supposed to be. And it basically, things not working out with me, it psychologically broke my mind down, where I walked away from my apartment, I walked away from my job, and I chose to go into the homeless shelter. But I stayed in the homeless shelter for 1 year, and I chose that. But I met the people when I was in the homeless shelter. At that time, I had met some of the most beautifulest, amazing people that you could ever imagine to meet on this planet in the homeless shelter. I met people that like, they're into this shit. They left this. I met dudes that were CEOs of companies that walked away from their jobs, engineers that walked away, that realized the state of things of what we're going through now. That time, I kind of felt like I was going through an initiation process, because it was a lot of weight that was on me. Because at the time I was having suicide. Actually, I was having suicidal thoughts, and I had attempted suicide. Didn't work, obviously, because I'm still here. But it was a lot of weight that was going on. But it tested me in ways that I couldn't, like it. I had to literally have my mental broke down from the ground up. That was part of my like first like initiation. I won't say initiation, awakening, whatever you want to call it. That like my whole mind frame had to be destroyed in order for my real rebirth to come back. I don't know what car would you want to cover.
No, that was kind of it, because nigga, that's a struggle. Like a lot of niggas can't even fucking like do that shit.
But it's funny because I look at it like it was nothing.
Right. Because you know it was your path. You already know you was gonna get something out of it higher than what the actual situation was. So that's why
at the time. Yeah, because at the time I was searching for myself, and I was searching for answers, and I remember we was in religion and all that. I walked away from that. Like nothing was working. Like at the time, my mom had passed away like a year and a half before, and like I didn't know where to go. My dad he wasn't being a father, so I really mentally had nowhere to go. Most of my family is gone. So it was a really dark place I had to go to in order for me to go back up that ladder or them stairs.
Yeah, like we were literally family to each other.
Yeah.
for a while. But even like I like to compare our stories to Naruto and Sasuke.
Yeah.
Because even though we were brothers, we still always took separate paths. But the craziest part about it, every time me and him took separate paths, every time we would come back together,
And be learning the
it'd
same
be
shit.
like we be on the same point. Like, oh shit. Like when I started listening to Bobby Hemming, he was listening to Bobby Hemming. But like it's just like when I was learning about more stuff, he was learning about more stuff, and I didn't even know. So it's just like,
But that's usually how it's been. Like no matter if we speak or not, we always come back together and be like, we be at the same point. Even if we decide to learn different shit, we still come to the same understanding whenever we meet back up.
yep. And we met at motherfucking Job Corps. Shout out to Job Corps. Hey,
Yeah.
Ayanga went to Job Corps too.
She know. Hey, that was a great place. Remember we were salty because we wanted to go back.
No, yeah.
Once we got back out in the world.
That was a bomb ass place, man.
I hated it. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh my goodness, my mama just sent me to a mini Detroit. I was in Flint.
Which one did you go to?
She went
You
in
went in Flint?
Flint,
Oh yeah.
Michigan.
Yeah, I didn't want to go to that one.
I'm like, this is a mini Detroit. Why would you take me out of Detroit to put me in little Detroit, bitch? Shit don't make no sense.
Hey, good thing you ain't go to the Detroit one because my boy went to Detroit and they had roaches.
Mm. Shit, we used to
No,
Cleveland was brand new.
My mama was trying to send me far.
Cleveland had just been built, like I think a year before we started there, and I was actually supposed to go to Kentucky, but I had banana peeled my finger to where I just cut all my finger off, and I had to postpone my ticket to go to Kentucky. And by the time it was time for me to go back to Job Corps after my finger healed, the only place that was available was Cleveland, and that's where I ended up going. And we had the best roommates. It was me, Chris, James, and a dude named Donnie. And
I
we
liked
was
my
fucking.
roommates and stuff. That was cool, but as far as being there all the time and the restrictions,
you had to make the best of it.
Yeah, like
you really did. You really, I had to just start calling me a ride. I had went there when I was like 17, so I had needed parental, what's that shit? Permission for every damn thing.
yeah.
I thought it was 19 or 20 when I went there.
Yeah,
My mama was trying to keep me
I was
bound.
16. Man, that shit was bomb though, man. Me and Chris had a good ass time. We
Oh, yeah.
made that shit. We made that shit like bomb. Like
I remember everybody wanted to hang out with us and shit.
yeah, it's like we didn't try to click with nobody. We just clicked with ourselves, and just by clicking with ourselves, people was intrigued. Like, what these niggas doing? Because they always seen us laughing, shouting, doing shit. You know what I'm saying? And like it was dope.
I think my only friends kind of come from either middle school or Job Corps. I still got my same Job Corps friends. Everybody on Facebook.
No, it's about the same here. All my friends is from like Job Corps and when I was a kid.
Yep.
None of my friends is from high school.
Yeah, my Job Corps friends became like family. That was like they was like everybody was cool as far as I just hated being there all the damn time. That shit was terrible.
Yeah, because you only had yourself.
That little room, that bed, being there with 3 bitches. I'm like, man, these bitches used to just be talking about nothing all the time. And I hated it.
Hey, Carl, remember me? You was at war with each other trying to get this at one girl.
Oh yeah. hey, like, look, y'all, like y'all don't even know. Like, I was like, I could have took the path my dad did when it came to drugs, because I used to experiment with drugs a lot. And that's what took me through a lot of my spiritual experiences. But I used to sniff pills a lot back in the day, like Xanax and shit like that. And I remember we was both trying to get with the same girl. And like I had got the upper hand on him. So I'm like, all right, cool. And this nigga went to her and told her that like I be sniffing pills and shit like that. And
Oh my God.
and
You went
then-
to her. You wait. No, you went to her inside smoke weed.
yeah, and it was funny because the first time like I used to sniff pills, and he tried it too. I gave him one of my shit, and literally the whole night this nigga walked back and forth with his blanket around him, clicking on and off the lights. I mean, this nigga is tripping.
When chemicals
funny
rush
times.
through the brain.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you like that's a shadow work though. You gotta be able to accept your past mistakes and look at the positive side of them.
Mhm.
Hey,
Shit, I look at shadow side made me what I am now. And regardless of my situations that I went through, I accept who I am now, and I wouldn't change things how they went because I may not have turned out how I am now, and I actually like how I am now.
hell yeah, and I still like cocaine. I just don't do
It's okay. I just
my
I just
God.
can't. That's like something you do every like maybe like 5 years or something. It's okay. It makes you invulnerable. You just feel like you're the shit, and everything is just what can we do next?
Tony Montana.
Hey, remember when you came to Cleveland and I did something like I said, hey, you feel good, you feel that euphoria, but I just can't. I just couldn't see myself doing that shit all the time. It's just nah.
No, me neither.
Mm-mm.
Mm.
Like I've done DMT. That's a hell of a drug. I've done that only
I
one
want
time.
to try. I want to try DMT.
It costs too
I
much.
do the psychedelics for sure, but I can't do other drugs because I feel like my family we got like addictive spirit, so it's like,
Mm.
and I already smoked enough, and I can drink my ass up, so it's just like nope.
No, that makes sense. That like with the white girl with the drinking, because my family has the same thing, and I think that's when I first met her, we started off drinking. Like we met, hung out, and we got a drink. So I can see that.
Yeah, that shit will definitely mess up the perception. Like my first son, his dad, the whole relationship, I was drunk the entire time. I ain't understand who he was until I was sober.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, I don't even know this person. Like, he's a drunk asshole all the time. But I was that drunk asshole too. So it was just like, I guess when you rise from, rising from a chakra, I guess, start becoming aware.
That was your frequency at the time.
Your frequency rise, like, hold on now, shit, time to get it together. This motherfucker still wanna have a good time and drink all the time. So I had to stop that shit. Like I said, my family has a really bad addictive spirit when it comes to drugs and liquor. So I try to watch what I did. Like I did Xanax for a while until I stopped remembering shit. And certain days and hours would be missing from my timeline.
Yeah, the Xanax with that Norco. Oh my God.
Oh my
and the
God.
edible and the blood. And then the fifth of crown.
Man, on top of it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you a story. Around the time I started doing Zany bars and shit like that, like I did it one time and I don't remember like what happened, and I was like, I don't like that shit. And I would have probably did it again, but my homeboy that was doing them, he robbed a smoke shop while he was under the influence of Zany bars. And he didn't get anything out the store. So he left the store. But him being out of his right mind, he came back 10 minutes later to rob the store again to get what he wanted. But when he walked into the fucking store, the cops were in the store writing a report. So this motherfucker walks in the store with a gun and tries to rob him. They shoot him. He don't die, but this nigga get locked up. And I'm just like, whoa, that shit ain't cool. This nigga didn't even know what he was doing. So I'm like, I'm never doing this shit again. And I learned my lesson. I'm like, no, this shit ain't right. That shit come with some way bigger demons than you.
That's
than you
crazy.
need.
It sure do. It's like a parasitic system start taking over. Because after I used to notice, like when I would take it, I'd be drinking and smoking, so I'd be good. It wouldn't be until after I eat, and then I'd be memory gone after that. I'll be on autopilot or some shit. Cause I'll go to sleep from whatever happened in that, and then I'll wake up and be like, I can't remember nothing up until when I ate. It'd be like blank memory. And then like certain parts of the night will start coming back as I keep trying to think about it hard, or have my friends will be trying to remind me of certain shit.
Yeah, but
Y'all should have had that Norco in it to bring it back up a little bit.
I used to like Vicodin. That used to get
Oh my God. I missed the
when I was
bike.
working at job. I mean
The
not job, but
junkie.
when I was working at Chrysler, oh my goodness, them Vicodin used to keep me going.
Oh my God. I miss
The
bikes so bad. Oh my.
the 750s, the peach ones, I used to, oh my goodness, about 2 or 3 of them boys.
Sitting up just itching and scratching, just itching, feeling good.
Oh man, I used to be like, couldn't nothing knock my day off.
Real. Oh, I hate that. Man, that was hard when they took them off the market. Like, I
I
need
was just about to say that. I was so mad. I had to get the white ones. Oh my goodness, no,
Like,
that's why I was taking narcos. That shit was
Hey,
terrible.
did you ever try the green bricks?
Yep.
Man,
Yellow ones too.
I mean, hey, I took one. I messed up 2 dates on that shit. Like, I took one and was supposed to go on this date. I just remember taking it, and I woke up. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, and I took it at like 6, and I was supposed to go out at 9.
Dang.
Like,
I took the green one time, and that was it.
it just knocked you out.
No, I sat up there. Yeah, I didn't remember the night my ex that I was fucking with. I woke up, this nigga eye all black and shit. I'm like, what happened? He like, bitch, you looked at my phone. I only got the whooping my ass. I'm like, let me see your phone. I ain't remember
ah,
it. I ain't know why I was mad. I'm like, what happened? Oh no, after that, cut them green buses out. The yellow
yeah,
one was kind of okay, but I had to stop that. That shit was too much on the memory bank.
man.
yeah, like we literally been battling demons for real. So that shit was trying to take our minds.
Oh yeah, ecstasy. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, I did the X too. Yeah. Go see Danny Brown on ecstasy pills. Yeah.
I mean, what does that
Yeah,
do to y'all? Because it never did anything to me.
I just did it a lot. I like to just the high. It ain't really do much to me either. It just
That's
increased my
just
high.
hype
Made me
up.
drink a lot.
Yeah.
I
It
used
didn't do
I
that.
used to throw ecstasy parties. I
You
used to love
would.
that shit.
You would.
Like, man, like, look, let me tell you this story. So one time it was I think mom's went to like Cancun. I mean, she went somewhere overseas, like what, like 2 weeks. And I was like, oh shit, like, let me throw a party. So me and my dudes went in and bought a jar of E-pills. So we invited people over. Everybody that came in, they took an E-pill or whatever, and they took it. So that night we all playing spades, freestyling, having fun. And then we find out that my boy John, his baby mama, came to the party. She pregnant. And you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking, oh, she pregnant. She ain't about to take no fucking E-pill. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even got to tell her. Tell me why this bitch took 2 E-pills and she was pregnant. So as we at the spade table, like she gets moving around where my dude John, look at her. He was like, "Did you take an E-pill?" And she was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Bitch, you pregnant?" And she's like, "I'll be fine." She was like, "I had 3 kids before. I know how to handle myself." And he's looking at her like, "No, bitch, like you shouldn't have took that. You shouldn't have took that." So he tripping out. So he asked me to take him home. He's like, man, I can't even be here no more, man. Like, I gotta go. So I take him home. Turns out that night, he ended up delivering his baby. I'm like, damn.
Her goofy ass.
So, but then that night too, like it was like a little mini orgy at the crib. And that shit was crazy. And like I had a vibrator and like I'm off east. So like when I'm hot, I like to vibe with myself. Like I just like to be in my head. So it's like the females with their little vibrators, they just playing with their vibrators and shit. I'm watching fucking horror movies on TV while they going ham. I'm like, this Insidious movie is crazy.
You know what, motherfucker?
But yeah, that was some wild shit. But ecstasy, man. Yeah.
So John baby mama took a ecstasy pill. Wow.
Oh man, I shouldn't. Oh my god, I can't even post this one. I'm gonna have to delete this part out the recording. I said the nigga name and shit. Like, oh.
Are you friends with this person still? I mean,
Oh yeah, that's my dude. We got the same last name and everything. We went to elementary school together. Well, shit.
well, he didn't know you talking about him till now. John could have been. We know it's John Davis now.
Right.
It could have been John Mallory. Like, what the
Oh man. Hey, well.
Hey,
It's
Carl.
Huh?
Hey, whatever happened to your one boy that he went to jail and they electrified him, but he came out like talking extremely slow?
Oh, so I believe my nigga was cloned, yo. So look. So
They
when-
electrified him.
at the
Right.
vibration of the vibration where I was at when I was taking a lot of pills and shit, I had a few homeboys. It was my homeboy LA. He was a fucking thief. I was a thief too at the time. So I can't, that was karma coming back on me. So it is what it is. No honor amongst thieves. So he was a thief though. I had my boy John, my boy Michael, it was his girl, and then it was a few other people that would come on every now and then. So but at the time we used to like do little licks and shit here and there. And but the young dude, Michael, he was like 14 years old, but he was watching us do all this stuff. So he was getting influenced by it, which I kind of feel bad about this later on, like, but I had to understand like his story is his story. But anyway, he started hitting licks on people himself, but he was getting fucked up. He kept getting caught by the police, and he kept going to jail. So he did like 5-6 years, and they let him out. But when they let him out, they said they had did electric shock therapy to him. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like what is that? And then I heard somebody say that he got his, somebody else said that he had got some bad drugs and that the drugs messed him up. So I don't know what story is right, but when he came home from prison, he was not the same person I once knew. And like when I picked him up and I took him to my house, he was like real shaky and he wasn't like really talking a lot. And back in the day, every time he used to come to my house, like my mom used to hate him because he used to eat all the bananas up. So when he came to the crib, I'm like, hey man, you want a banana? Just like kind of joking with him. And he literally like real slow just grabbed a banana. He was like, banana. I'm like, what? I'm like, nigga, it's a banana. But he was literally sitting there telling himself banana, but like pronouncing it just like that, like a baby, banana. And then I'm like, bruh, I'm like, you want it? He was like, yeah. So I'm like, give it here. So I take it from him and I peel it open and I give it to him. He's just like looking at it. He's like, banana. And then he eat it. And then he just start eating it. But throughout that whole day, I'm like with him. And I was chilling with him for the next couple of weeks too, because I was like worried about it. I'm like, what the fuck going on? But it was like he was being reprogrammed. And like now that I'm thinking back on it, I'm like, wow, that shit was weird. Because even before he saw his uncle John, that's John is his is his uncle, he saw me because I had a ride, so I went and picked him up. And when I was like, yeah, you talked to John yet? He was like, John. I'm like, yeah, your Uncle John. He was like, John is my uncle. I'm like, what the fuck? But like now that like I said, now that I'm thinking about it, and I hear the stories about when people come out of jail, they're clone. And I really think like they either did some clone type shit on that nigga, or they did something, because I swear it was like he was reprogramming himself after he got out of prison. She was weird. Like even like my mom saw it, like everybody saw it. Even now, like he's very mentally unstable.
I had posted a couple of weeks ago that when men go to war, after they come back from war, they sit with the medicine man for 3 months to heal themselves from being in war. Being in prison is you are in war too. You're a prisoner of war. And like I said this a while ago in the other group we had, that we started to concentrate on those brothers that been to prison and heal those brothers because they was prisoners of war. They were in wartime and they was prisonized. And it's supposed to up to us to heal them with the herbs and the crystals and let them discuss the things that happened to them in prison so they can come back and be people of society again, because they've been conditioned in those prisons by our enemies to come out a certain way, and we're not talking about it. And they need to have the men that's enlightened and knows the ways of the ancestors to help heal them.
Yeah. And look, check this out. So even with the prison system, it's a lot of magic going on up in there. Because if you research what is a warden of a prison, and you look up the etymology of the word warden, you will see that that's an elder of the occult studies. So therefore, each warden of a prison has to be a occult leader. So that's why they call them inmates, because they literally are in these cells and they're intermating with the spirits that they cast. And that's how they do get a lot of their shit. Cause like think about it. If they trying to use our life force, they got niggas that's in cages that they can just suck their life force straight out of them. So of course they go be think about the shit they do to us, poison our water, do this, do that, do that. Think about the niggas that they got in their hands, what they do to them. So that's why when they come out of jail, they be so consciously shattered, because they literally been battling demons all day and night.
But we don't discuss it in our community. And that's one thing I think that as brothers, we need to start making them feel comfortable to discuss those things that happen to them on every level and know that it's okay because you was a prisoner of war. But let me help you heal. I've been trying to get my nephew, he was in there for 6 years. I've been trying to get him over here to heal him. That I'm not going to judge on whatever happened in there. I don't care. But you have to be healed. But in our community, we don't want to discuss it at all. We need to stop that as a people, because there's too many gods that went to jail for no reason, that's fucked up in the head now, and we won't let them to feel comfortable enough to discuss what they went through.
Yeah, it's true, because we too sensitive about what we think other people go think about us. And especially just up in there, it's like it just shatters your whole mental of existence, because we out here in this free world where we can do what we want. Now you can't even go to the bathroom in private. You gotta do it in front of somebody else. So you literally are just reprogrammed. That shit fucked up. Like,
I did it for a weekend and was fucked up. I'm looking like I was in there for 2 days and fucked up. Like, and it was June. I'm like, is it snowing? What the fuck? I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was in there
But
for
they had
2
it
days.
cold in the motherfucker. 2 days for me too was enough.
It was a fucking enough. Just
I
imagine
swear to
5
God.
years. I mean, but we don't discuss it that it affects our community more than any other community in America.
Mm-hmm. Cause oh
And
my
they set
goodness.
them out, and we okay, we're not gonna talk about it.
and
Cause
wait
that
a
shit,
second. Wait a
it's not
second.
for
Pause.
humans. The stuff that they do there. That shit's inhumane as fuck. Like treat them worse than animals, honestly. And I was in the holding cell, and I'm like, God.
Now wait a second. I want to tap in because I want to say something for the ancestors real quick. We speaking about this prison shit. You know what I'm saying? Who in the fuck working at the courthouse? Raise their hand.
And that's why you're right. You're right. Contradicting everything.
That's why y'all were fighting earlier.
That's why I fight myself every day when I go to work. For real.
Yeah, hey, like I said, I always tell you, you got it, man. Yeah, shit. You got it. You just gotta say peace. Well, they gonna make you say peace sooner or later, so you're gonna have to write the way.
Like, you're right. See, you're right. You're right.
Had they made a mandatory vape for the vaccine?
They don't even talk about that.
Oh yeah, yeah. But that's real shit. We're not saying that the vaccine is bad or anything. We just saying.
Oh no, I don't even go into it. I don't trust nothing about that shit.
I'm saying that it ain't good for you.
Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. Just did they mandate a date for you to take it?
Not yet.
Okay, yeah. Let's not even get in that subject. let's not touch that right now.
Too hot out here for that.
Hey, my job ain't even talking about that.
Yeah, we already know what's up. We already know what's up. But yeah, I'm glad we got to get this communication out. I think this is real powerful. That was some good stuff.
It was Ashe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Agree.
So yeah, if people want to know how to look up their Mercury journey throughout this transit or throughout this time period, you can do that little method. I'm gonna post the video so y'all can see it. Or like if you need extra help, just hit me up and I'll show you how to do it. Well,
I will be hitting you up.
All right, for sure.
I still want to hit you up about the reading, looking at your natal chart.
Oh yeah, well I would say if you want to read it and talk to T-Rez.
No, that's that brother. Oh yeah.
Yeah, T-Rez can break down the chart for you real well.
No, because I know you may have mentioned it before.
Yeah. I don't know how much you charge, but you know what I'm saying? Shit, send them some energy. Shit.
Right.
Shit, I'm about to be over here offering niggas kale and cabbage and spinach. I just finished my raised bed. I just got some dirt in it. I want to transfer some plants tomorrow.
Hey, why don't you sell some? Remember, you used to make detergent.
Yeah, I used to do everything, dog. That shit crazy. Yeah. Hey, I ain't
homemade detergent.
I ain't had to pay for detergent for like 2 years. I had like a whole bunch of buckets of it.
What?
Like I think I've literally done like kind of like everything. I just like pick it up. I'm like a jack of all trades. I just pick it up, I do it, then I put it down. Okay, that was cool. And I just go to the next thing.
Hey, do you remember that house we used to go in next door? That we found that black magic book.
And all them candles.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
found all them candles. Like, it was a abandoned house. Remember y'all had left and I was upstairs and y'all said I was gone for like 2 hours and I had just been, and for me it felt like 15 minutes. I came back, asked where y'all had went, and I had heard all these noises downstairs, like y'all had been downstairs and y'all had been gone.
Yeah, that house was something right there. That was on 105, right?
Yeah, I still remember I was upstairs, like looking through the black magic book, and I'm breathing. As I'm breathing out, my breath went forward, and then something on the side of me pushed my breath over. Then all of a sudden, a gust of wind pushed me.
Yeah, that was probably a man to ask.
Hey, I don't know, because it was that old lady that had lived in that bando, or the house when it was a house. I think
that's
she was
true.
doing she was doing magic. So then I took that book on top of that, because I remember when I found the book had like failed, because its cover had snapped against this, I guess this thing, and it knocked some down, and this shelf on the bottom fell, and this book fell out, and it had a piece of paper on a news thing saying something from Bush 9/11. And in that page that it was on, it was talking about rituals.
That's crazy. That show was a fucking ritual.
Yeah.
And actually, if you, it's interesting. If you want to see how life goes through cycles, you can look up like the Rodney King beat and like all the different times like they presented a black person dying on TV is always in similar time frame.
Shit, you see that just on
It's
the movies.
like every
It's
year.
reboots.
Every year it's the same thing. It's like,
yeah, it's a reprogram. It's the same program. Because I'm like, because you got to think, they don't report every killing. So why does this one particular killing, out of all these other killings that are far worse and far will put the police on, I guess, the people's eye, but there are far other stories in this. Why do you choose this particular story? So that's how I know it's a ritual. Because like, if that's the case, then report other shit.
yeah, that's all news and social and like media is just fucking that's why they say media. Media is the great enchantress called what's her name? The Medea. Medea is her name. Medea. Medea is I want to say I don't know what pantheon she's from. Is that Greek?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, but Medea, yeah, she's the great enchantress. She's in charge of media and television and stuff like that. That's why we get spells casted on us through the television. But we also can know that we are gods. So when we watch a program, we can actually watch a program that will program us in a positive way. That's why when we watch Naruto, we feel good and satisfied because we're watching a story about our chakras, about our mythology. But it's like when we watch other shit that's like just bullshit,
Just
that's when
drains
we
you.
try to like it fuck with our subconscious. It programs us with bullshit. That's why Jerry Springer and Maury Povich stayed on for so long and they didn't miss a fucking episode because that was an attack on the black consciousness.
And these motherfuckers still own today what they old asses. The same
Right.
age.
Right. They fucking reptilians. And then we watch these shows in entertainment and we got to break down the word entertainment. Entertainment means anything that you allow to enter in yourself in programs. So like you got entertainment. When we entertain ourselves with this shit, we eventually start seeing it in our own realities. That's why our best friends start having fights with their baby mama. And that's why we seeing this person cheat on that person. We seeing this shit because we're actually programming ourselves with these images.
Because that actually makes sense. You know what? Example, the recent series Chucky. They're coming out with a series for Chucky. And like throughout my 33 years, I've just gone back in my mind, but like, y'all, each of these movies are reboots. So in each of these movies, I'm like thinking of the time period, when all these reboots came out, each time period, these are the same time period reboots have come out each other. Like they say Freddy and Jason, they did a reboot of that. Those came out within the same year or two. So that's a program. And I'm like, coronavirus, well, this virus, let's say that. This is just, they've done this. We had another disease that came out like 10, 15 years ago. That was a big deal. Like, what if this is just the same program? Like, think about it. Afghanistan left them over there. Now they're going to give a reason for us to go back over there after we left and came back twice. So it's the same program. They're just running all over again. So that's the point of a reboot.
Yeah, like even my mom, like I was talking to her, I looked through some old pictures because I saw that they actually had to have, like my mom literally remembers where when she went to school, she had to show them her vaccination paper to where it said she had her first shot, her second shot, and the booster shot. She said she remembers this, taking that to school to show them so she can go to school. So
no, we had to
goes,
too.
I remember that too.
Right. So the cycle is the same thing. The only thing that happens is it just gets more intense. The vibration higher. That's why now to the fact that we're woken up, we like, no, we're not going for the same shit. Every generation before us went for the bullshit. We like, fuck that shit. So that's why we're going to be the generation that puts an end to all this bullshit. But yeah, we just can see, we physically can see how it's just a pattern going over and over again. It's the Matrix, yo. Nothing really changes. The only thing that changes is our perception. And even age is a perception. Because who says you have to age? Why did niggas live for so long back in the day? They didn't celebrate birthdays and bullshit like that.
Hey, because if you think about it, most people that's into this knowledge shit, they stay looking good for a long time. We don't really age. People that subconscious don't really age.
Right. And even people that are conscious, they literally change their appearances. Like if you literally look at some conscious people from before they was conscious and now that they are conscious, it's like, damn, like they look like totally different people. It's like because you literally just transformed yourself.
Right.
That's like why I used to be like 400 some pounds. Now I'm like 190 something or 180 something. So I fucking transformed myself. And I remember I used to see myself when I was a child as a guy with dreads, long dreads. And now I'm a guy with long dreads. And I remember having that vision being a little kid.
I think we all see each other as an adult before we're even adults. You have an idea of who and what you're gonna be. Like we're like the whole thing what we're doing right now, we're trying to figure out what the fuck we were doing when we were a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we was a kid, we were trying to be an adult.
Right. Yep. Yeah, and I was yeah, man, just tapping into that childhood, that heart chakra. Children live from their heart. That's why they so fucking emotional. But shit, yeah, yo, hey, this was dope. Shit, the recording with all night. It looked like some niggas went to sleep.
Who went to sleep?
Right. Well, I'm sitting up here listening to y'all.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, ooh, they feeling it. I'm gonna let them go ahead and go.
This was dope though. We gotta just keep doing stuff like this so we can remind ourselves about the frequencies that we on.
Agree. Okay, that sounds cool.
Especially because I know y'all niggas is working still. So that's automatically gonna be stress added to your existence. So
Yes.
you will always need an outlet to kind of get you back in your mojo. And then just think about it when we all just doing our own thing and then we just blasting off.
Hey, Carl, hey, you ever thought about this? We should start a show. Like, we should have a podcast.
I've always wanted to do one.
And then, like, choose, like, see how many people we can get to, like, talk to, like, join in our podcast. Let's make this a show. Like, we all, like, I don't know who will want to be involved, but we should, like, make this a real thing.
Yeah, I'm down with that. I remember I used to, as a teenager, I had a vision that I had a group online, and it was called GMT, and it was stood for Great Minds Together. But now when I look at that GMT, I think of God Minds Together, and I'm like, hey, that shit dope, GMT.
Yeah, we all all of us have a show, and then like have people come in and like answer questions and stuff. We all come from different perspectives.
That is dope. Then it's like shit. The round table, you gotta have like you get every zodiac energy.
That'd be sweet.
Oh, yeah, maybe we can call it the round table. I don't
You
know.
have to get a masculine and feminine for each one.
Yeah, we need like that would be interesting. We should really think about that.
Yeah, so would that mean we would just start doing these like live?
Yeah, and then people want to jump on and comment, ask a question, we can talk about it.
Yeah, that'd be dope. But now we gotta have some ground rules though, because we gotta operate in a bullshit system since we're using this shit. So we gotta remember, stay very cautious about saying anything about COVID-19.
Okay, so don't say nothing about it.
We would have to come up with a side word like "Don't eat the Doritos." You know what I'm saying? We gonna have to do something.
Or you should
like
do.
That.
You should have you like some type of a button, or we have like a little button that we can push that makes a sound.
Yeah, that's good.
Like you press the button and say the bullshit or bullshit.
Yeah.
You can always add that in with editing.
Oh yeah.
Right, yeah. Hey, that's dope.
Or message, or not, like the dude off of "Don't Be a Menace." Message.
Well, now they gonna sound like a Brother Panic video.
Right. Damn.
No, but that is dope though. Message, but I like that though. Shit. Hey, that's dope. Oh.
Remember on the different every time they would say some like real shit where a surface level person that could understand and be like they gonna get something out of it, they will always say message.
Right. And then like even with that, like now that if we on here and we showing ourselves to the world, like we can still advertise our own things as well. So that's how we're letting out energy into the universe, and the universe will return energy to us.
Yeah, advertise each and everybody's like what they do, like astrology. Somebody got somebody that can read, like
Yeah, so I like that idea. I think we definitely need to do that. So shit, I don't know. Next time we can just go live with it on any type of platform. We can see YouTube, Facebook, whatever.
I would still say we still have the Zoom meetings you know, because we can't talk about everything. Some things you just like, some things is for like, you know how some people pay for
Right. You might almost want to like
Patreon.
separate the two a bit.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
I would think like the lives will be when we converse with the people, we have like topics and information and shit like that, and then we could plug them in to where they can come on and ask questions and talk and shit like that. But then yeah, of course we have our own little behind the scenes talks and shit like that. So yeah, that's gonna be dope. Yeah, we just get started. Like we don't even need no high tech shit. We can just do it just like we're doing now. And shit, we never know. This shit could just blow up in a second.
Yeah.
And I actually believe working with the Mercury energy right now, if we actually upload our videos and upload these recordings right now, it would be beneficial because after Mercury retrograde, that's when we can start to advertise our shit. But we'll already through the Mercury retrograde, we'll already be working on content if we keep doing these little recordings to give people something to watch. I think it will match because because like right now the retrograde is, so we don't want to be like, hey, watch our shit right now because the Mercury retrograde niggas already get it. But if we're creating stuff in Mercury and that Mercury learning energy, then when the shit over, niggas go get it like, oh, I like this, and then just go like build all that.
Sounds cool.
All right.
Yeah. So see, hey, look how dope this retrograde is in Libra. It done made us think about a way to communicate to the whole world. Like that's dope.
That's sweet.
But
Oh, shit.
all right, y'all, it's getting kind of late. I think I'm about to step off.
Yeah, I'm sorry I ain't even get no spaghetti. I've been waiting all
Yeah,
day.
we've been on the all day for a minute.
It's all good. It's all good.
Well,
I'm
peace.
ready to celebrate.
All
Love
right, y'all
life.
be easy.
Everybody be blessed.
Yep. All
Oh
right,
yeah,
y'all.
hey, yeah, hit me up if you need some help on the Mercury shit.
I already told you that, motherfucker.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll be posting this video up, so I'll let y'all know. All right, peace, y'all.
All right, peace.
Bye.
And,